Hi there, happy hump day and welcome to Wednesday. The well-known Sufi poet has a beautiful expression and it goes out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing. There's a field. I'll meet you there. When you think about those words, they're beautiful words, but of course it's all easier said than done. As humans, we're so quick to judge. And once we've made up our mind about someone or something, it can be even harder to change. Academic Amy Cuddy, in her book Presence, Bringing Your Boldest Self to Your Biggest Challenges, talks about how when we meet someone for the first time, we're doing a couple of things. We're trying to answer and work out, what are this person's intentions towards me? And how strong and competent is that person? So to what extent are they able to carry out those intentions? So in doing this, we're judging, firstly, how warm and friendly the person is, how trustworthy we find them, and how capable we think they are of carrying out those intentions. And when we're making that assessment, we're often doing it on really insubstantive facts, more like hunches and feelings. For example, how is a person smiling? Are they maintaining good eye contact? What are they wearing? Very often, they're factors that don't have a lot of substance attached to it. And sadly, our assessment, those first impressions, can sometimes be off the mark. And that's why listening, really listening, deeply listening, is so important. Kate Murphy, who's an author, wrote the book You're Not Listening: What You're Missing and Why It Matters. Now, some of what she's talking about is quite obvious in terms of, it's through listening that we learn about others. We also learn about ourselves. It's how we connect. It's how we empathize. It's how we can engage with others. Of course, it is a skill that many of us lack. And I know I can put myself in that category too. There are times when I find myself not listening. One of Kate's suggestions, which is a helpful suggestion, is to adopt what she calls a listening demeanor. And that's when your movement, your expression, displays interest in what the other person is saying. It means that you're focusing on them. Your eyes aren't darting around. You're not looking at other things, paying attention to your mobile phone or paying attention to someone else who's walked into the room. You're not fidgeting. Instead, your body's relaxed. It's open. It's accepting. It's ready to hear what the other person is saying. By doing this, you're able to be really focused on what they're saying. You're listening not just to the words, but noticing the body language, those subtle cues that are transmitted non-verbally. And you're actively hearing what they say without judgment and without interpretation. Now, seeking to hear what another person has to say, that doesn't mean you have to agree with them. But what you want to be is genuinely interested, curious, open to learn, not just about the person in front of you, but open to learn about yourself and your assumption and your expectations. You're asking questions because what you want to do is clarify what you are hearing. Often we filter so much of a conversation that we're only hearing parts of the conversation. You're listening empathetically and with compassion because you're seeking to understand where they're coming from and what they're saying. You're also keen to understand your own reaction to what's going on. Now, doing all of that can be hard and it can be challenging, but the rewards are worth it because you'll end up with better outcomes in terms of the conversation that you're having, but also a better relationship with the person that you're sitting in front of. So I'm going to give you 9 tips that can help you get ready for conversations, help you get ready to listen so that you can walk away with better engagement and therefore better outcomes. So tip number 1. Really think about the time. When are you scheduling those important conversations? Because you need to do it at the time of day that you're going to be the most alert. Number 2, find a quiet place. Find a place where you're not going to be distracted. Have your mobile phone turned off. Don't have a radio or TV in the background. Perhaps don't do it in a cafe if that's an area where you are going to be distracted. Watch how the person's reacting to the conversation, and in particular, notice any physical or cues or emotional reactions. Number 4, this one can be hard. Slow yourself down. Our mind can race. We can be hearing part of a conversation, but then thinking about what we're going to be saying next. So you want to really slow down. so that you're present and you're focused. Number 5, notice where you're judging through the conversation. Notice what assumptions you're bringing into that conversation. Number 6, ask clarifying questions so you can really confirm your interpretation. Number 7, ask questions with curiosity and genuine interest. When you are genuinely interested in the other person, they'll be more interested in you. Number 8, acknowledge that you've heard what they're saying. If it's a big thing for them, say that. Wow, this seems like it's a really big thing for you. You need to leave them feeling heard through the conversation. And number 9, accept that your role often isn't to solve it for them, but to create that space so that they can generate their own insights and solve the problem for themselves. It was the American writer Norman Vincent Peale who once said, "Change your thoughts and you change your world." You can't do that if you don't listen. Lots to think about this next week. I hope you find time to listen to whomever you're talking to this week. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week.